What's up, everybody? It's Sam with Rowdy Alternative, and today we're with Tommy Prine. How are you, dude?
Doing all right, man. How about yourself?
Really good, really good. I've been excited to do this one. I'm glad we could make this work, and
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
for sure. Before we hop into anything, though, I guess just let us know what you've been up to recently. With maybe with shows or recording, writing. What have you been up to?
Man, not very much. I just had my first kid 5 weeks ago, so I've been off the
Congrats.
road. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've been a dad for the last 5 weeks. I haven't really been. I've been writing a good bit at home. I'm kind of planning on doing another record next year, so I'm trying to get some work done on that. But yeah, other than that, I've been home and it's been really nice. To be honest, it's been great. Yeah,
Yeah, I can imagine, man. A
yeah.
well-deserved rest, I guess, aside from the daddy duty. I
Yeah,
assume.
no, no. But I mean, dude, I was gonna say it's like it's hard for sure. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say it's easy, but like just being in one spot to me is like feels so good. You know what I mean? It's like as even though I am up till 3, 4 in the morning taking care of this kid, you know what I mean? It's like I'm like, hey, at least I'm at the same building, you know what I mean? Like this feels great, you know?
Yeah, not run
So
around too much. That's awesome.
yeah, no doubt, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so we might as well hop into it, man. So I guess let's start with your sound, like your style. And I guess it would be pretty simple to put the Americana label on it, you know? But I think a lot of people, at least like I'm just now learning the real ins and outs of what makes Americana Americana.
Mm.
So I guess first of all, like if someone wouldn't know what that means, like at its core, how would you describe Americana music?
Americana music kind of feels like you know, country that isn't on like AAA radio. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
just kind of feels like adjacent to country music. I mean, like it would have been called country music in the '90s. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just kind of like a community built in music that is I guess just kind of like geared towards different things and like writing towards different topics and sonically kind of a broader space than country or just rock, because you got I mean I make a whole bunch of different kind of sounds in my music, like some indie rock, some straight up folk, some kind of country punk sort of vibes,
Hmm.
So I think it's just kind of like a come one, come all kind of term, for if you play an instrument and you write songs, you're welcome in Americana. So
For sure.
yeah.
And yeah, that's how I've been kind of seeing it too, because the thing with Americana music, it seems like when you compare it to other genres, I feel like it's just as much a culture as it is
Mm,
like a style of music, if that makes any sense.
totally. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like they got their own awards now for it. So it's like there's, for lack of a better term, like an establishment for it. You know what I mean? There's
Hmm.
like, they got a red carpet, it's
Yeah.
like they're legitimized now. But yeah, I think it is kind of like, in a way, it's like a bit of like a, like the lone wolf of music coming late to the party and then like kind of discovering that it has a lot of similarities with like other folks, and a lot of people feel comfortable in it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
seeing it really pop off again, like it's really like with like the new generation of fans. I feel like Americana is like big, in a way, like it's kind of coming to the mainstream a bit. I mean, you could look at guys like, I know Tyler Childers is more in the country category, but you get like
Totally.
even
Yeah.
guys like him to like it's a wide spectrum, and it's really cool to see it really popping off.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think I mean even with like Zach Bryan stuff too, it's
Yeah.
like, when he blew up big time, I was like, okay, like this is great. Young kids are like giving a shit about like emotional songwriting and like kind of more like stripped back production, you know what I mean? Like real instrumentation like
Mhm.
happening, you know what I mean? Like that kind of vibe. So I was like, hell yeah, like that's great. I guess I don't know if do they call him country, I guess, like in the charts or whatever. I
Zach
don't know.
Bryan.
Yeah.
I've seen him labeled all kinds of things: folk, Americana, country.
Yeah, it's
That's the
just
cool
like I mean
thing.
that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's like and I think Americana in that sense is like I don't know if they are in the same like web of what is considered country in terms of like major record labels and stuff like that. Like when I think Americana, it's like a lot of it is kind of synonymous with independent, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I think that is also kind of like an important kind of earmark there. Not to say that every Americana artist is independent. I'm just saying it's like kind of more common in that space, I'd say.
Yeah, 100%. And
Yeah.
kind of going into your specific sound, man, like you kind of said it earlier, it's when I listened to your last EP, like it was a bunch of different stuff. And that's what really grabbed me. And I think that's what really makes artists unique, especially in a scene like the Americana scene where it is like a lot of people are like America.
Totally. Yeah.
And I think that's what makes artists like you guys stand out. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
before we go more into that, I was kind of curious, obviously, with your father being who he is, was there like when you started to really get into music, was it hard to, I guess, escape like the comparisons and stuff like that when you do have your own sound? That's like, like it's you, it's Tommy Prine. And I'm
Right.
wondering how did you navigate that when, if there was ever any of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's gonna be an element of that forever, and
Yeah.
like that's fine. Like it I don't know. I mean, I guess like the one thing I'll say about it is like it wasn't enough to stop me,
Right.
So it's like I love my dad. I'm proud to be his son. I think it's cool that he was who he was. I'm super proud of him and like his work. And I just think like it can just be that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't think it has to be like every time I hit the stage, I'm like, oh, am I gonna do him service? Like, I don't think about that shit. Like,
Right.
I like playing music. I like writing music. I like that's just what I do. You know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
I just it kind of it feels like I'm getting closer to him. And I
Yeah.
think that's awesome, and it feels good, and I get to explore my own like kind of my own vibe and my own energy in the studio and on stage and like explore who I am and how I connect with people and what makes me fit into this big puzzle that we're all living in, you know what I mean? So I just yeah, it's just the way I roll, I guess. I don't know. It's yeah, it's nothing that like weighs down on me too much.
Yeah, for sure. And I think of that because I'll just use my own anecdote. My dad went to see the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band not too long ago, and you opened for him.
Oh
And
yeah.
dad was he's gigantic John Prine fan, always has been
Nice.
since he was a kid.
Hell
So
yeah.
when his reaction when he got out of it was like the coolest thing about Tommy Prine is that it's his own thing. It's not like a cookie cutter. We're gonna play like Dad did kind of thing. It's like
Yeah,
it
no
is
shot, yeah.
your own avenues, and I think that's what like that has to be a cool feeling for not only you but like fans. Like if they get to see like okay, this is its own thing. It's
Yeah,
badass.
totally, man. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm really grateful that people have seemed to kind of like accept me for who I am and kind of like had an open mind approaching me.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously I think in the very, very beginning, like there was like some really funny Facebook comments like, I'm out, like he doesn't sing like his dad, he doesn't like
Oh, I'm
whatever,
sure.
like you know what I mean? Yeah. And like that's fine, you know what I mean? Like and also here's the thing too, is like they're not wrong. Like everyone's allowed to have their opinion. And like I'm not here to change it. I'm just here to like give what I can give. And I've been very lucky that people have like received it in that way. So that does make me happy to hear.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And when it comes to your sound and from when you first started writing or playing to now, do you find it evolving as you go with each release? In any
Okay.
ways, progressing? Like, how does that like come about for you?
Totally. I mean, so one thing is like when I approach the studio, I generally approach it with the feeling and the thought of like, okay, I'm gonna go learn something today.
Mm,
Like it's not so much like oh, I know this song by the back of my hand and I'm gonna make it sound like this precisely. Like I go in there and I try and do something I haven't done before, and I try and learn. And I think so much of what is so special about music is, when they record the moment, like that moment in time of that guy singing that line, that song, that with that guitar. I think to find the really special parts of that of like recording a moment, I find is when someone's like doing something that they're like not really confident in.
yeah,
And it's like when you kind of break that vulnerability layer with yourself and you're like, all right, I'm gonna like, even if it takes me 18 takes and all these suck and then maybe the 16th one wasn't so bad kind of thing, I think that's where you get really special stuff. And I love going in the studio and just doing new stuff. Like on this EP, I did the drums on some songs. I did keys, synthesizers. Like I was picking up all different types of string instruments. Yeah, like the bass. I was just kind of like doing stuff that I don't generally do. But I think that we captured some like really cool stuff on there. Because it's just kind of like trying to trust yourself and like you're not like weighed down with all the information of like playing acoustic guitar for 20 years or whatever, you know what I mean? And so it's like when I pick up drumsticks, I'm in a new land, you know what I mean? I'm in like a
Right.
totally new room. I don't even know what I'm doing, but we piece it together and we make it into something. And that's when I feel like some really special stuff happens. So
Yeah, and I'm no professional musician, but as a fan and a listener, I think like some of the most exciting stuff with your favorite artists is when they do try and do new stuff and they do want to experiment in the studio and not be afraid to take those leaps. You got like a band like AC/DC, that's a very formulaic approach. They're
yeah,
AC/DC though.
yeah,
But
totally.
like I think what really like separates the guys and gals who really have the juice for it are the ones who are not afraid to try anything different and aren't afraid to really go for it.
Yeah, and it's like that's literally how you grow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's how a sound grows. Like you're not gonna grow by going in there writing the same songs, playing them on the same guitar, you know, like doing the same mix notes like over and over again. Like that I love it because like people like whenever they hear like the new Tyler record, people were like, "Oh, I didn't like how Rick Rubin produced it. Like it was overproduced." I'm like, overproduce isn't a thing.
Yeah.
I don't think overproduce is a thing. It's just like you probably just like don't get it yet, and then
Yeah.
like give it like 2 weeks and like you can't stop listening to it.
It-
It's how yeah. It's like I mean Tyler pushes the sonic boundary every record, and I think that's so badass because when you look back on his discography and like 20 years, you're going to be like, holy shit, what a special library of like different sounds from this one guy.
yeah, and Tyler's a great example. Like I feel like whenever he puts a new album out, you have that group of people who are like, "Oh, he's done, he's washed," and like
Yeah.
with every album, it's the same thing
No,
every
dude.
single time. It's like, no, it's different, and like
Yeah.
if
It's
it's not
just
your
different.
yeah, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing. Fair enough,
Yeah.
but like you can't call it bad.
Yeah. But then also give it literally 10 days and they'll be like, that's pretty good. Like, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like once they like kind of like catch on to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. When you do go into the studio and and really try to push yourself to do like other things, like try other stuff out, is that, and I hope this makes sense, but is that like a natural thing that you've always been able to do, or is it something that you'd have to like learn over time? Like, okay, like I want to try doing this, or is it more so like it just happens for you?
I mean, like growing up, like when I would like jam with my friends and stuff, like we would all like take turns, like we would switch. Like I'd play the drums for an hour and a half, and then I'd go to the bass and then the guitar. So like I've done all these things before. Like I've played piano my whole life, like but I wouldn't say I'm like performance ready with a lot of those instruments. Like um I enjoy playing piano at home, but like I don't know when it'll be time for me to do it on stage. You know what I mean? Like it's nerve-wracking for me, but in a studio there's a little bit of like there's some like safety like guidelines there for you, It's like you're there in this enclosed space with the people that you chose to be there with for the most part, if you're paying for it at least. And then it's like you just kind of I see it as like a playground and it's like, all right, here's what I want to capture today. I want to capture it in this way, and I feel like if I were to go over here and in this corner and spend some time, like then go over to this corner and spend some time. Um, I just kind of let it like dictate itself. Like I go and I lay down the guitar first, and then we literally go from there, and like usually add like bass and drums first, and then if there's anything like missing, we kind of go from there. But
Gotcha. And while we're on
yeah,
the topic still about like trying new things and stuff like that, I'm curious on your take. Obviously, now in recent times, a lot of it happening in the country genre is a lot of genre bending. You got like
totally.
different like there's rock, there's hip hop in it now. It's just like a big ball of everything. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious with that being, the normal thing now for the most part, what your like stance on that is. Like, was that like, I love it personally. Like from an artist point of view, like, because you got like the fans who always have something to say about that too. Like, oh, Beyonce
Totally.
put a country album out. Like, you got those
Yeah.
guys. But what's your whole stance on that?
I mean, I think genre sucks. Like I hate the idea of genre. As a listener, it's great. Like I remember like before I was an artist, I was like, "Oh, I get it. It kind of categorizes like, these records with these records." But now that I make records, I'm like this like I don't want to label any of it, Cuz it's like especially with like country and Americana, it's like it matters a lot what the label is because you got to go through the route of like promoting it and like getting press and like there's certain places that unless it's country or if it's anything outside of country they won't touch it because it's like why would they
Yeah.
only do country, like you only get like XYZ articles because it's a country record. um yeah, it's I mean I don't know, it's like I think like where it kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier. Artists create. We like to create. And I don't think there's a lot of creating being done when you're spitting out the same stuff again and again and again and again.
Hmm.
And I think it's like everything is meant to like fit into its own mold and then break and then reform. Like I just that's how people are, and that's like I think we're just kind of like spitting that experience back out through like music and what people make. People change, people go through things, people learn. People do all sorts of stuff, and like I think that music is just like a bit of like a mirror of that corner of the human experience.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are picking up on that. Listeners, that is. Like, I think audiences are really starting to accept it more.
Yeah,
Here's another example. I keep throwing examples out, but Sturgill Simpson. I mean,
totally.
has he made an album that's the same? Like, I don't think he has. Like,
No, he hasn't, and it's awesome. Like I
yeah,
love to hear it. It's like he goes from like straight up the middle, like playing in a honky tonk country to like a crazy like accoutrement to a anime movie, like
yeah,
metal record. And I'm like, that's the coolest shit I've ever
yeah.
heard.
That's my
And
favorite
then
by
and then
him,
a
by the
blue and then like
way.
two bluegrass records. I'm like, this is great. Like I love to hear that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
incredible. But let's talk a bit about your writing and everything, man. A thing that I am jealous I would never experience is when songwriters, um, when have you ever had moments to where like your song really connects with someone, like a complete stranger, anything like that? Like, what is the feeling there? Like, it has to be crazy when something, because writing songs, like, that's a very personal thing, and putting it
Totally.
out and having it connect and relate to a stranger or a new listener. Like, how is that feeling for you?
Yeah, man. I mean, it is truly, really special. I think there must be some sort of like way that the human brain is wired that like I can't really wrap my head around it all the way because if I was able to, it would be like a crushing responsibility. You know what I mean? Or like it would turn into one. But man, I just feel so blessed that I even get to do this at all. And then for some folks to like come to my shows and like have like my lyrics tattooed on them or like just like a story about showing my song to their kid and it's something that they like to do before dinner or something like that kind of shit sticks with me and like in a really special way. It's like it's hard to really wrap my head around like the impact that music makes. It's not even so much like a Tommy thing. It's just like music is such a special thing and I'm just so blessed I'm a part of it.
Hmm.
And I think it's just like a cool kind of byproduct of it. If you respect the craft and you put in the work, then um, you know, I think the real dream, any artist would tell you is like they just want to like connect. They want to feel heard. They want to they want to be like everybody else. Like it's like when you connect with a song, you're like, oh, I'm like 1% less alone now
Yeah.
because like this random person just wrote down everything that was in my heart today. And just to be a part of that, I think it's like one of my favorite parts of my life. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to put it. And I'm also wondering, like, and this might be an obvious answer to a songwriter, but when you do write a song, is it ever a obviously you're writing it for yourself because it's, you're writing a song about your experiences and everything. But is there ever the aspect of I'm writing this for other people too? Is there like a middle ground to where like you have to balance both out? Do you not care? Like, is there ever like a battle really when you're writing?
I mean, so there's like a few ways I feel like that I approach a song when it comes to that. Sometimes it's literally like a journal entry that it's
Mm,
like turns into a song and it's all basically for me. And I think oddly enough, those are the ones that connect the most because I think, um, if you're that open and that honest with things that you feel and you perceive, and if you're lucky, there might be some people that hear it that feel the exact same way, and it's like a perfect match sort of situation. But there is something that like songwriters will do, where it's like making a song more universal, you
mm-hmm.
know, and like that'll be like something that like a producer would like help you when they're like critiquing your songs and being like, hey, change this line to like her, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or like change this, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
doing stuff like that and making it more universal kind of in like the semantics of it. Um just because it can be it can be really easy to write a song that like only you get, you
mm-hmm.
know? And I think if you can make it more universal in terms of not just changing little words, but approaching the line in a more universal way, which is basically saying like be simpler.
Yeah.
Like just take it down a notch, be a little bit simpler, fifth grade words, you know what I mean? Just like just really say what you're trying to say, you know? Um so yeah, I think in a way there is a part of it where it's like you're writing this for other folks to hear. You want them to hear it, you know?
Yeah, it's just nuts how like it's truly an art form, and like it's so hard to understand sometimes, but it's crazy
Yeah,
when it
yeah.
works
I
out.
mean, it probably sounds like I'm
it,
talking
it makes
glibbity
perfect
glib over
sense.
here, yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense though. And
Totally, yeah.
do you like to co-write? Do you co-write much? Like, what's that
Love
situation
it.
like?
I
Okay,
love it. I mean, I just love to write, and also co-writing kind of like makes me stop being lazy and like get active about it. Because I'll just like go through bursts of writing and then I'll be like, nah, I'm bored, like I don't want to write anymore. But yeah, I love co-writing, dude. I just love working with people and like collaborating. Like people are so awesome, dude. Like people
yeah,
can be so talented, and I love working with like talented folks that are just like so passionate and care about it the same way that I do, but like they're totally different people, totally different experiences, and I think that's such like an awesome thing to draw from in a room when you're writing.
yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I love doing it.
Heck yeah. So let's talk a bit about your EP that came out in August.
Yeah.
Love Circle, man. That's the first listen I when I really dove into it. I just went ahead and dove into that one, and man, that it caught me right away. Like we were talking about, different styles, different sounds. It's like a really interesting listen, and it's really engaging, which I
Hell
think
yeah, man.
I think is like obviously key for a new listener, like I was at the time, and it was great. And I guess first off, if there was any like themes or any meanings behind like the way you structured the EP, anything like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that I like sequence the EP is like it's supposed to kind of replicate like a relationship that falls apart.
Mm,
Um, like it starts out Purple Paint with being like really over enamored with one another, like puppy love kind of thing. Standing in the middle is like a little bit more like mature of like a love song. Love Circle is like kind of when things start getting like like you start looking back on how things started, sort of thing. And
mm,
then there's Caught in the Wake when things go crazy, and then Space because you need some space, and then Mysteries of Man is just kind of like, when you're single afterwards and like rethinking your life and how you're gonna go forward.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of like, and I wanted to call it Love Circle because there's a spot in Nashville called Love Circle, that used to be a spot back in the day for like couples to go up there and like make out and drink beers and shit like that. And and it used to have the best view in the city. And then I think John Rich or something like built a huge house, like blocking the entire thing. Like,
Freaking John
so
Rich.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And like
Oh,
it's funny, my manager was like, "Don't talk about John Rich in interviews," because he's like sued people about even just bringing it up. So like,
oh.
maybe I'll see you in court, brother. I don't know.
I'll be right there with you, buddy.
Yeah.
But heck yeah, man. Were you pretty happy with the reception when it dropped? I'd imagine
Yeah,
so.
man. I mean, it's like it can be difficult being an independent artist, especially when I do something that's like a self-release. Like it doesn't get like the same kind of like splash as like a record does.
Hmm.
But these songs were literally like bursting out of my pockets, dude. I was like, I gotta like put something out, or I'm gonna freak out. So I like put those out, and it was part of it was just like I wanted to just like wipe my head clean of them, so I didn't think about them all the time, and I could start writing new stuff for the record. Because the EP was basically like half of the album that I was going to do this year, and then I learned I was going to be a dad, and I was like, I'm not doing both. I was like, I'm doing the kids happening, so I was like, but I think I'm going to do an EP instead. So. But it's been great, dude. I mean, I think there's a couple songs on there that folks have been, the folks that go to my shows have been really wanting to hear. So, yeah, I think it's been received pretty well.
Awesome, man. Well, like I
Yeah.
said, I loved it. It was fantastic. And before we head out, man, and by the way, thank you so much for doing this. I had a
Hey,
really
man.
good
Thanks
time.
for having me, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. And before you hop off, if there's anything you'd like to talk about, maybe some new music, some shows, anything like that coming down the pipe.
Yeah. Well, if you got a movie theater near you, go check out the movie "Regretting You" because I got my song "This Far South" in there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want to go out for a date night or something, go see "Regretting You" and hear TP blasting through the speakers.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. And where can people find you on like socials and websites and just
I'm on
Tommy Prine?
everything, brother. Whatever you use, I use.
All right.
Instagram, TikTok, X, if people still use that. Whatever. I'm on all of it.
Right on. Well, Tommy, thanks a lot. This was a lot of fun. Everyone, please make sure to check out Tommy Prine. It's fantastic stuff. Also, guys, make sure to look up Ray's Rowdy Alternative. We're everywhere as well. Just Google us, will pop up. So thanks everyone for listening. Tommy, thanks again. This was a blast, and we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers, brother. Thank you.
Yep.